You ever go on, boss? Hey, and I'll give you these flowers for free.
Hey, man, ain't no motherfucking bitch, man. Fuck wrong with you, man.
What you mean, yo?
Idiot, huh? Fuck wrong with you, man.
You just destroyed the flowers.
Or something? Fucking bitch. Shit, man.
Yo, they're just flowers.
Fuck out of here, man. Ain't no bitch.
They're just flowers, bro. I promise you, they're just flowers.
Man, you soft-ass motherfucker. Bet you won't come from behind that glass.
What you mean? I'm just saying the flowers. There's nothing wrong with them.
What the fuck wrong with you, man?
Why you getting so pressed over flowers?
I paid for my motherfucking flowers, man. I paid for my fucking Snickers, man. Fuck wrong with you?
All right. It's just a flower.
Nah, bro.
You don't want it? Nah. Okay. Change. Here's a bag. You have a blessed day, my brother. And you can have these flowers. Because I'm feeling generous today.
Some flowers?
Yeah.
What the fuck I need some flowers for?
What you need some flowers for?
Yeah.
I'm just feeling good today. I'm giving my customers flowers.
You think I'm a bitch or something, bro? I don't need no fucking flowers, bro.
What you mean, bro?
I don't need no fucking flowers, bro. I'm good, bro.
Why you so mad about just some flowers?
Bro, I'm going home to my female, bro. I don't need no fucking flowers, bro.
Oh, so you think...
Some bullshit ass flowers, bro.
All right. My bad, bro. My bad, bro.
Yeah, you good.
You look like you're having a bad day. Yeah, you can have these flowers. I hope it makes your day a little bit better. It's real. It's real. All natural. Thank you. I got you. Is your day at least a little bit better? It is. Let me get a thumbs up real quick. I like that. You okay?
Give me a break.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
What's under it so I can find it?
What made you like tear up?
Because I ain't had nobody to give me a rose in almost 20 years.
Really? I'm very glad to be the first one in 20 years. Slow.
And you saw the hurt in my face and
yeah, most definitely.
Something to me and it meant something.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm very glad.
I'm MJ, by the way.
MJ, nice to meet you. I'm Khalid.
Khalid?
Yep.
So where do I look up under to see that?
Hey, I'm up. You can have this rose because I'm feeling good today.
Thank you.
I got you.
You're black.
I'm not, bro. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just saying there's just flowers.
I don't want that shit, bro.
I got you. Calm down.
Give me what the fuck
I got you. What you so mad about, yo? Like I want you to explain to me why they get mad over flowers, though. That's what I really don't get.
That's for bitches. They ain't for no man.
It's not for no man.
Fuck with our flowers. It's not the same, dude. And see, I think you trying to disrespect me, man.
How?
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Because of the flower.
Don't play with me like that.
How about this? How about this, Nick? Nick, I'm gonna give it to you, and I want you to give it to your wife. I'm gonna give it to you, and I want you to give it to your wife.
No, fuck you, get my wife some goddamn flowers.
No, as in you gave it to her. No, but you're gonna go and you're gonna tell her that you're the one that gave it to her. You bought her this.
No, I don't want, because I be still accepting. That bullshit don't work with men.
But I'm saying, I'm gonna give you this, and then you act like it's for your wife.
For what?
So you can make her happy.
I don't even like the bitch, man. So what the fuck would I be doing for a goddamn flower?
Do you like roses? You can have this rose too. Yeah.
How you know I like roses?
I didn't even know you like roses, but I'm glad you do. Like, but why dark horse though? Why dark horse? Why you smoke dark horse?
Because they're cheaper. And I can afford them.
Nick, they're gonna kill you.
Yeah, but we all got to die someday.
You don't want to die of cigarettes. Lung cancer, that's like painful.
Well,
that's painful.
No, it ain't.
If this video gets 10,000 likes, will you quit?
Yeah, I will quit.
You'll quit.
I'll quit. But and $500, what happened to $500?
How about this? If this video gets 10,000 likes,
right,
you'll quit, and I'll give you $500.
Right, I will quit.
Swear to God.
I swear to God.
Pound it. Pick your promise.
Pick the promise.
Pick your booger. All right. And Nick, it's a promise. That's it. You won't quit if this video gets 10,000 likes, then I'll give you $500.
That's why I can't stand these ninjas. That right there, all over a flower. That's exactly the problem. And that's Chicago. That's why I made that joke in your thing earlier. I want to give you your flowers, but I don't know how that would go over. I know how giving you your flowers. Nigga, what? But on a real note, did you see? Because see, that's called hurt. Like that's called fear. Like the idea of getting a flower was so reprehensible that some dudes were smashing display cases, like legit destroying property. Destroying property because a dude offered them a shop owner, not like a random dude on the street trying to hit on you, just a shop owner giving you something extra. But the idea in their head was so offensive. And then like peep the language too. The last dude didn't even have all his teeth. He probably had this many teeth in his whole mouth. This many. And he had the nerve to say, those are not for men. Those are for bitches. Then he said, I don't even like my bitch. So there's no respect for women at all. Not only him, there was another young dude that said he was going home to his girlfriend. Neither one of them wanted to take free flowers home to their girl. Not one. Not neither one of them. And you got to imagine that some of them other dudes have either a woman, a girlfriend, a mama, a sister. Not one person out of all them dudes. Now, again, it's social media. So they could have cut out all the dudes that accepted it. They could have cut out all the dudes that were like, oh, okay, thanks. They could have cut out and just only showed the negative ones. That's a possibility. But that you could string that many negatives from the same shot and those many overreactions. And I believe it. I don't even believe that was staged. Some of that I believe was completely true because I know people that act like that. To feel so offended. That's the fragility of the male ego. You can't even have a dude, a shop owner, because you can't even really say it's a dude. You can't say he was hitting on you. You bought merchandise and he gave you something extra. But because it was a flower and what that represents in your mind, that's how these niggas act. Like that's why dudes short circuited when I use the word feelings. That's the problem. That's weakness. That is such a weak place to be, where a flower makes you start destroying property, destroying merchandise. It's embarrassing. But those are the dudes that don't get the memo. Like they didn't understand. That's male emotional management. They don't have it. They're too emo. They could have just said no thank you and walked on about their business. But they have to make a display. And they don't even register that that's a feeling. That's the manifestation of a feeling. It's working their way out through their body. They've got to be over communicative about how they're rejecting homosexuality or whatever it is in their head. It's sad. And the woman, like Yella said, she legit appreciated it. This is why, like when I was talking to Bree earlier in Discord, and I said women are selfish, that's why. Like Bree keeps saying, we have a symbiotic relationship. So when women are selfish, and when women are like that one I showed earlier, when they're problematic and reject correction, why would you let a dude like that correct you? He doesn't offer you anything. He won't even bring you free flowers. Free flowers. Because he doesn't even like you. Like that dude said, I don't even like my woman. We don't even like the women. We're using you. And in turn, you're going to use us back. So we're just using each other. None of us want to be with each other. It's just a system of usage. And that's the problem. We're just doing harm to each other for no other reason than because we can. That woman said she had not been given a rose in 20 years. 20 years. Not even by mistake. Like that dude, like intent versus impact. I talked about intent versus impact earlier. This dude is making like a mockumentary. He's making fun of how dudes overreact. So his intent was not to actually make her feel good that day. He didn't know she was going to come in there. But the impact of it was still positive because she took away that there was some guy that thought enough about her to give her a rose when he saw that she was down. Now listen to this. That sounds like one of the Arab shop owners. She spent 20 years around maybe her father, brothers, cousins, friends, neighbors, lovers. 20 years. And an outsider had to give her a rose. A dude that makes his money off the community, probably with inflated prices, with the merchandise not even probably marked with the proper prices. You know, everything's probably up 300%. We know how convenience stores are. And he's actually making that and is mocking the people his customers. He's mocking his own customers with that video. But the man that gave her a flower was a complete stranger, not even her own people, and somebody that is more than likely exploiting her people. That too reached out to her. That's why you have divestors. That's why you'll have a Cynthia G. Because of the hurt. Because I won't even take a free flower. Because I don't even like my bitch. That's where these sorry dudes are. That's what these sorry dudes are doing. You could at least take your hurt and leave these women alone. That would be the honorable thing to do. Take your ball and go home. But Yella, that's why. That's where my blue pill empathy comes from. Because those are the dudes hurting our women. That's why they're so angry. And there's another side to the incel. Got those Nigcels right there. See, they got access to sex. Because black men are as objectified sexually as women are. They have access to sex. But what they don't have access to is intimacy. Because of their conditioning. So even though it's not a sexual celibacy, they're as devoid of human connection with a woman as an incel is with sex. Hey, man. But that's the stance I come from, because I've seen a lot of that. I see the women get left with 2-3 kids. And yeah, they make some bad decisions, but there's a dude involved in every bad decision a woman makes. Every single one. I mean, except for what degree they go for. I mean, that's on her. But when it comes to relationships, man, there's 2 parties involved. And these are the dudes they're dealing with. 20 years without a flower. And you telling me her lashes and her quick weave and her weight made her undeserving of an act of kindness? I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, you a simp. I know he's not supposed to say that on Twitch. I don't know if they'll shut the stream down. They can say, yeah, you blue pill, simp, beta. Like Shaka Gorilla says, whole stud, white knight. Can't show any compassion. You're expected to take advantage of women. They're causing the problems that they complain about. Because they'll talk about these women only using you. Yeah, because you've been using them. In a trauma cycle. Yeah. Sharing deep trauma, crying on panels. Because they hurt. But not recognizing the role they play. Because they're conditioned to do this women. That's what they're expected to do. So they do it. They don't expect it. There's a divide. Because y'all have heard this. In the manosphere, in this red pill space. They talk about, hey, bruh, get yourself up. Get your money up. Then women won't reject you. She should have sex with her. If she ain't having sex with you within the first so many dates, you get rid of her. But she can't have a high body count. She can't have kids. So there's already that dichotomy. That mother whore Bree's been talking about. They want that chaste, prudish mother. They want the virgin. They want that. She can't have a body count. She needs to be a virgin. She can't have any children. But then they want her to be sexually proficient. And then she's got to have a sex with them within so many dates. So there's already that cognitive dissonance. And a dude with no teeth has the ego enough to say, I don't even like my woman. I won't even take her a flower. Yeah. And that's part of the problem too. There's conditioning on both sides. And there's problems on both sides. Because women also have cognitive dissonance. Teeth are for noobs. If you're a real man, you'll gum your food into submission. But that's what we're dealing with, y'all. I think men like that have mommy wound that have not been addressed. But when you call it out, anger and rage, exactly. Exactly. There are lots of mommy wounds. And they also have, what's that? Like a daddy craving. Which is where you get that desire to be around the men that we showed in that other video. We need surrogate fathers and surrogate brothers. So we develop deep intimacy with the missing men through our friends. We'll connect with them in lieu of the fathers. But the women we have hurt because we were raised by that woman. That mommy wound. See, daddy was just absent, so we have a lack. So we have a desire. But the mommy was there. And she was on team do too much. Because she had to cover up for two people. So the mommy wound is hurt. Has not been addressed. So that comes out as a resentment. So that's why you treat the women like that, because you resent them. That's why red pill rage is so dangerous. They resent them. You become dangerous. I know they were, I think yellow, there was some kind of conversation. They're like, it's not a threat. They are a threat. Red pill men are a bigger threat than those pink pill women. We got to compare the threats properly. That's why it's more important to get the men in line. Because not only are the men a threat to women, they're also a threat to the children, and we're a threat to each other. Yeah. MGTOW. Not only some men, they withdraw completely and don't want to be around anymore. Excuse me. But a lot of dudes stay in that place, deal with that hurt, and they turn toxic. So if you're not treating your woman right, it's probably an extension of yourself. You're probably not treating yourself right. But even if you're spoiling yourself and treating her wrong, that's an even bigger character deficiency. Like, these things translate. But everybody compartmentalizes everything. A fragmented mind. Yep. This is why it's self-hate. There's a lot of hate in there. Lack of respect for self, lack of love for self. But that's why the self-development is such a big piece that we have to get people to start stepping into. We have to destigmatize therapy for people that have been traumatized. We have to somehow get self-development back on the table. Like, because it's not part of any school curriculum now. Everybody's teaching for tests. How do you learn about yourself? If your family's not, you don't have psychologists and therapists in your family, where are you going to get those skills from? Where are you going to get those tools? Support is important. Yella talked about that in his thing today. What do people do when they don't have someone to reflect back to them how they're coming across? You end up in the radicalization chamber. Your thoughts become more and more extreme. That's why isolation is such a dangerous thing to fall into, because there's nobody to challenge your thoughts. You can keep your personal algorithm can keep reinforcing itself. We become our own echo chambers. Even without the internet, even without the internet, we become our own echo chambers. Before the internet, people still went on, and people, especially with anxiety, you go into self-fulfilling prophecies and self-reinforcing thought. That person doesn't like me. Then they look at you funny, or they didn't say hi. Then that reinforces that you don't like them. Then you treat them in a way where they don't want to speak to you. We always have like an algorithm going on, with or without the internet. The internet just has created a mechanism to refine it. So what you start looking at, you're going to find more of. Yeah, algorithms did not help. Algorithms do accelerate how we reinforce our bias. Yes. Yeah, be on some toxic stuff. Yeah, because you be on some toxic stuff. Like you said, that anger is your superpower. So it feeds your anger. But you got to be careful. Man, that's so hard too. Not getting affirmation or validation from your guardians, parents and guardians. That stuff follows you into adulthood. So you start looking for love in all the wrong places. I ain't even gonna sing that song. And if you neglect me for 20 years, if everybody that looks like me neglects me for 20 years, I'm gonna feel a way about it. I'm gonna have some self-hate. Then to find out they refused to do an act of kindness for me that was free. Yeah, you're gonna have some ill feelings for the people that look like you. And that's what we're doing. We're just creating more emotional damage. And back to my point with Yella, what I was trying to go to like 20 minutes ago. That's why I want to focus on the men. I think we are the leader. We keep saying we're the leaders. We understand that the Black woman in the Black community has more power because I think she's invested more. And the one thing you're not going to do is talk a woman out of a say when she's had the most investment. That's never really going to happen with Black women. Which is why it's on us to sacrifice. It's on us not just to sacrifice by pouring into the community and taking the risk. It's on us to sacrifice by removing our tongue from speaking ill of them. We're going to have to take the ill of letting them speak freely out of the hurt because we haven't given them a flower for 20 years. Let them feel the way they feel. We keep saying they're women and they're expressive and they're emotional. Well, let them live that out. If you really believe it, shut up and, I know you said shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble. Let's get the ball back. Let's get the ball bouncing. We don't have to go word for word with women. Not unless that's our competition. Are women our competition? I mean, if so, then yeah, let's go word for word with women. So we're women at that point. I mean, if that's the level we're on. Otherwise, we should shut up and dribble and show an investment. Show an investment in them. Yeah. As men, we got to take it. Like KS used to say, men, pressure is built for shoulders, not hips. If we really believe the stuff we're saying, let's live it out. Why do we keep saying, why do you want them to submit to you when you're not in a position to be submitted to? Like, shut up and dribble. Your dudes aren't even on the court. And you want them to cheerlead. You're not even on the court. You don't have a ball, no uniform, no sneaks. You're in your slides at home, chilling. What are we talking about? What leadership? Where are you taking them? Yeah, we got to shut up and dribble. We got to take that L. Let them talk until we've proven that they have something to operate differently to work with. Because in a capitalistic society, money talks. So dribble. Get your game up. Get some coins. Like AR talked about, nah, you ain't got to be a drug dealer. Because you see, like, when the drug dealers are making money, they don't like broke drug dealers. They're like the flashy ones. Okay. If money is the currency and you want access, man, get the currency. Get the money. Shut up and dribble. That's my problem with the dudes, because they won't shut up, nor will they dribble. They won't do either. They want to do nothing. Where they do that at? So they pout on the court, but they're not even on the court. They're not even playing the game. They're not even playing the game.
Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
They're not even playing the game. They're playing themselves.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That woman went 20 years? You trying to tell me 20 years and she didn't get a rose until the dude was playing a prank on black people? No brothers, no cousins, no nephews, no daddy, no uncle, no neighbor, no boyfriend, no friend, no coworker. Not one black man in her life thought enough of her, even just as a human being, to give her a flower for 20 years. And then you saw those black dudes. Like I said, there might have been a whole bunch of dudes that they just didn't show that did take the flowers. But they found at least a dozen that rejected it to the point where they were slapping merchandise off the shelf. And 2 of those dudes had women. Like they voice, I got a woman. Why would I get a flower? Why would I take a flower back to my woman? They would say, that's for women. Those flowers are for women. I have a woman. What's that? I don't know if he's on TikTok. Like, what are you talking about? We do not want to prove ourselves. Men don't want to prove. Men don't even want to take women on dates because they're afraid of her getting a free meal. My God. How long is that meal going to last her? 12 hours? 24 tops? You're worried about feeding a woman for 24 hours? She might get over on you? I swear to God. Yeah. And lounges out here too. And I bought so many roses for so many people. Not even people I was with. Just, that was one of the first things that woke my mind up to the state of women. Like, I bought a woman lunch one time and she was crying. I was like, but nobody had did anything nice for her. Yeah. And they'll still find a way to blame the women. And that's the externalization. They're always blaming somebody else. Men want to be the leaders. We want to be the boss. We don't want to pay the cost. You almost caught the spirit. Yeah, this stuff is crazy, man. This stuff is crazy. That's the mentality that we're fostering in these dudes. They don't want to do anything, but they want everything. That sounds the same as the entitlement that they say women carry. Dudes are real entitled. They want you to smile on command, whether you with somebody or not. Smile for me. Smile. Smile now. Yeah. Can't take a food ill. But, hey, wait a minute. Forget on FanDuel, man. Let's go back to the Amari Hardwick. Let's go back to the intimacy thing with men. These same dudes, because I got on this when I got on the red pill. These same dudes will buy rounds for the fellas. Round after round. after round. I'll spend on these dudes. I'll spend on these men all day. But she better not ask me for a plate. Same problem I had with these dudes the first time I heard the red pill. First time I heard red pills. Matter of fact, I think it was MTR. One of the problems I had with him was his red pill self. He was talking about, I'll only take a woman out for coffee because I don't want to, no free meals, right? No free meals. You don't get me for no free meal. First of all, he talks about how much money he's making in investment and bought a house and all. Bruh, you can't afford a free meal? And you YouTubing and successful at that? You can't afford a free meal? But even beyond that, you're asking for Patreon and super chats from dudes? So you want dudes to hand you money for talking to them? Ain't that what it's just saying the woman is doing? She wants a free meal for talking to you, but you want these dudes to hand you money because you're talking to them? Man, I swear to God, I wanted to slap rainbows out of that dude that day. Like, you're asking for Patreon. You're asking for money. You're asking for money from dudes that you're telling not to spend money on women that might sleep with them. That might, even if they don't. They've had a conversation with a woman, so they're less awkward. But oh my God, hand me your money, black man. I swear to God. Super chats. Donations. Hey, donations. Hey, donations. Hey.
I might be going to Red Lobster today, y'all. See, I get love. Y'all focus on the hate, I focus on the love. Y'all focus on the hate, I focus on the love. Y'all focus on the hate, but I focus on the love.
Thank you, Nova, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 bits. Thank you, sir. Donations, gifts, gifts, gifts.
And this is for only my supporters. This is only for my supporters. If you're not a donor, I'm not going to go there.
Hey, man. Asking these dudes for money. Asking them. Not saying if you want to donate, you can. Asking them directly. Directly asking dudes for money. That you're telling not to spend money on women. How, Sway?
Empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself.
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man.
So if a woman, you gonna spend money on a meal and a woman's got to put out, what you giving these dudes? What you giving them? I mean, if sex is what's coming out of it for on the women's side, what you giving them? What you doing, bro? You won't get coochie, but you'll get this exclusive content. You know what I'm saying? It's exclusive content that I'm going to put out a month later on the regular for free. That's exactly the same as what they accuse these women of doing. You'll give it to this dude, but then I gotta work for it. So you'll give it to YouTube after a little bit of time, but I gotta pay you on Patreon to get it. So that means the dudes that pay your Patreon are the simps. They gotta pay their way in, right? Those are, you got a whole blue pill cohort. So so these dudes asking for money on the line, they're like sugar babies. Whole bunch of sugar babies. Red pill sugar babies. Yeah, spend money on me to learn how to get women. Oh, man. Yeah, they got Patreon heroes, man. Tap into my Patreon. Tap into my Patreon. Donations. Donations. then you got dudes bragging. You got dudes bragging about whose Patreon they contributing to. Bragging about giving money to a man. And also bragging about not spending money on a woman. Some dude, because AR sent me a snapshot. Some dude sent a $500 super chat to dunk on a woman. He said, I'm paying $500 to tell Kayla to put her makeup back on. $500 so I can insult this woman. I'm giving money to a man, Lapeef, and insult this woman. That's the culture. Yeah. Matter of fact, tap it. Hey man, if you want me to tell you how to stop falling for these goofy dudes scams, right? Stop falling for all these dudes that are telling you how to get women, how to not spend money on them. Don't fall for any of them, right? And I'm gonna tell you exactly how not to fall victim to it in my Patreon. So yeah, subscribe to my Patreon. I'm gonna give you the game so that you ain't getting caught up in it. I'm gonna give you the game so the game don't get you. You know, the regular tier is $49.99. But if you really want to know how to avoid these scams, the $499.99 Patreon subscription. Not only will you get exclusive content, 2 extra videos a month, you'll also get a one-on-one Zoom call with me where I'll give you 5 minutes of my time to tell you not to take them on a food date. But also, don't tap into some dude's Patreon. It's not me. Any other Patreon. I swear to God. These dudes make me so angry. Only mans. Okay. It's more like only bands. Bunch of bitches. Oh, they get on my nerves. I swear to God, I hate them so much. And it's not like a rageful hate. It's like when I come across them, it's like repulsion. My God. I don't understand. I really don't understand the disdain they have for women that they say they want. I know logically. I know it's from hurt. I know they're hurt. I get it. Some of them don't have the hurt. Yes, it is a side hustle. I'm gonna tell you what that's called. It's like sympathy pain. These dudes get in these bro circles, like Omari. He said, I become an advocate. I become an advocate for these guys. I advocate for these men. That's what they're doing. They inject themselves into each other's lives, as he said, and love up on them, as he said. And that advocacy for these other men is so it bothers me so much. And that's the other problem. That's the thing. Like I talk about with anything, like the Wild Wild West, the Gold Rush, the new land, whatever it is. Anytime there's a new space opened up, the first people there are opportunists. Everything. The internet, the people that have some resources already, and they have some insight, they're opportunists. So yeah, they're exploiting. And a lot of that is devaluing. That's the clip I saw What the Funk wanted me to react to, because I said that. A lot of the language they use is to devalue, to bring them, a woman, down to their level. Mentally, within them. I mean, because there is no real value other than what we perceive. So I feel low. I feel disaffected, like I said. These dudes feel disaffected. Life has put me down. I'm powerless. I'm shamed. The world doesn't need me. We keep saying men built the world, but I wasn't one of them. I've had no contribution. I've got no meaning. Nobody wants me. Nobody needs me. So I've got to bring you down to that level so that I don't feel insecure when I date you. But I just see a problem right now. It's just, It's like, forget what the media says. It's like what I'm seeing. Like in real life. In real life. Even without the internet, even without the manosphere, even without red pill, people don't value each other. We don't see each other as humans, as people. As Bree says, that we don't appreciate the nuances of each other. But yeah, I mean, the dudes have to work, and you see how much we got to work through. So women, hopefully y'all can have some grace for us. I know we may not deserve it, we may not earn it. We want things with zero investment. I get that, and I'm still asking, just as a human being, to give us a little bit of grace, because we don't have it figured out either. We have feelings. What's that? Alexithymia. We don't even have an understanding of our feelings. That's one. Then we're having people that can confuse our feelings. That's two. Then we're conditioned to not show feelings. That's three. And then you wonder why we can't relate to you, and we'd rather deal with the dudes. That's another problem. We're layering on problems the way y'all layer on makeup. I'm joking. That was a joke. But we're layering on problems, and it's making it hard for us to be able to dig our way out when it comes to relating to you women. It's going to be nearly impossible. But it's going to take all of us to take on the burden of responsibility. Right now, we're still wearing the cloak of victimhood. We're looking for somebody to blame. It's somebody else's fault. It's the liberals. It's the LGBT. It's the black women. It's the divestors. It's always somebody else's. It's mama's fault. Mama raised me. But, it's always somebody else's fault. But if we can't step out from under that cloak of victimhood and just accept the responsibility for our own lives, it's always going to be like this. And worse. I mean, entropy. Things continually degrade. It's not, things don't just magically just start getting better. If nothing else, things are changing. I won't even put the value judgment better or worse. Things are changing. And if you don't want things to change at a quick pace, because if you're already saying you're at a disadvantage, men, if you're already at a disadvantage and you're already uncomfortable, if you take no proactive steps to change your circumstances, it's only going to progress faster. So you have to take an active role in your life. Otherwise, life is going to keep making, if you don't do anything, life is going to keep making the decisions for you. Complaining about the women. It's not going to help. It's not going to help them. It's not going to help you help them. It's not going to help them help you. That's just more divisiveness, more anger, more ammunition to throw at each other. Until such time that men are making an investment where we don't have women crying because they received a rose for the first time in 20 years, until such time as stories like that are so rare that they're heartbreaking and not the norm, do what y'all need to do. Don't be listening to these dudes. Why would you? They won't take you to dinner, but they're taking dudes they're sending dudes to Vegas. Like $500 Patreons, $500 super chats. Got attorneys quitting their day job to become YouTubers because dudes are paying their way that won't pay their child support. I mean, that's how we out here living. Kevin Samuels couldn't pay his child support until these dudes paid it for him. The Negro was in arrears up until them dudes got in their arrears. Yeah. Hey, that's a community built around hate or anger or hurt. All of it wasn't hate. All of it wasn't hate. Some of us confusion. Some of us hurt. None of us productive. Like we talked about the manosphere, the red pill space. None of us. I've thought about it. I've thought about talking stuff about y'all women. Because y'all ain't right either. But it wouldn't do anything. Because y'all not going to listen to some fat dude on the internet telling y'all that y'all wrong. Like, what would be the incentive? At least according to the guys, men need to hold men accountable. Iron sharpens iron. Y'all heard all that stuff before. I know y'all heard that before. So if I'm talking to men, they should listen, right? A dude talking to men, but they won't listen because they don't really want to change. They want to complain. And I get it. It's easier to complain than it is to do the work. But I'm here as an example that you can do something different. And any of them that wants to listen, I'll walk them through it. I'm not perfect, but I'm better than I was. And I can prove it. And you wouldn't be able to find a person that dealt with me in my life that said I left them worse off than when I met them. Unlike some of these dudes that they listening to and throwing Patreon money at and Super Chat money at. You couldn't find that person. I've had stronger negative reactions telling dudes when they're doing something stupid on the internet than I've had in my real life. I've had dudes reject correction on the internet. They've gotten tested. They've gotten hot. But I don't have any enemies in real life. I don't have anybody I've done dirty. I mean, my former employer, that's not a person, though. They might have a gripe. Sorry. Like I said, I don't feel bad about it. And thanks for the 500 bits again, Nova. Thank you. Again, you'll be the first person to get that new course on how to not fall for internet scams from these red pill hustlers. You will be the first person to get that fresh drop and the ebook. Absolutely. And the 5-minute Zoom call. So if you have like one single question that can change your life, I'll answer that one question in 5 minutes. And if it takes you 4 minutes to ask the question, I'll have 60 seconds to respond to change your life. But I'm capable. Just want you to know that. Because I'm actually paying for women's dinners. No, that's how they do too. They tell you not to buy women's dinners, and then they out here tricking. That's what really gets me. That's what really throws me. Oh, that one really throws me. They tell you not to be out here, but boy, they flying women out. Oh my God. Whoo, man, I enjoy talking about these dudes. I mean, because they're trash. And they're hurting black women. I know in other communities they're hurting the women there. I've only 20 years for a rose, yo. 20 years for a flower. A single solitary flower. It wasn't even wrapped in cellophane or anything. No tissue paper. No little water dropper at the bottom. Like nothing. Nothing. Just a gas station flower from a convenience store. Had that woman wiping her eyes. And I don't care what these dudes say about wigs and weaves and eyelashes and sandals. An act of kindness, man. But they demand that black women smile on command. But they can't get gas station flowers. The same way Kevin Samuels told women, like these dudes that you treat like this, that's somebody's son. Like, I think somebody needs to tell them that these women that you're talking about aren't worth a dinner. These women that you're like saying, I'm not taking flowers home to my woman because you're giving it to me. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's little girl. And that pisses me off, yo. I swear to God. I swear to God, if I knew one of my dudes was acting like that, we'd be fighting. And I'm not even somebody to be around fighting. But I swear to God, if I knew a dude that I hung around, spent time around, was acting like that, we would straight up have a fight. That's unexcusable. Inexcusable, unexcusable. I don't know if it'll correct me. Inexcusable, unexcusable.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
That's one of the two. It's non-excusable. Some of this stuff, man, we got to get some of this stuff sorted out. And maybe they won't listen to me, but maybe somebody that's watching will get something out of it. Maybe somebody can share something to somebody else and they'll get something out of it. But man, we got to start doing something, because the breakdown is, and again, I know Yella didn't accept it first, that men were the danger. Disaffected men become a physical threat. I really think we need to do something about it. We don't need dudes out here angry and lonely and hopeless. It's a societal problem. It's not just something that should be frowned upon. It's a problem. I think we need to address it, because most things in this world have been the catalyst. A lot of times was like male agitation. You know what I'm saying? Wars and like big movements, like this kind of male agitation. Like agitated males cause a lot of drama. Agitated males have a lot of drama. And if they're being displaced, we know what free time and young men, we know what that brings about too. So agitated and free time. Summer's coming up. Tail end of a pandemic. They're disaffected. They're disempowered. Disillusioned too. So, I mean, there's so many disses. They feel dissed. And I don't think we should dismiss that. Ding. I gotta do my own sound effects. Yeah. Keep them balls empty, fellas. But they're incels. Break, stop it. They're incels. Yes, I know they could do some of the handiwork, but it just ain't the same. That's what we need to legalize sex work. And yes, I know there's still sex work available, but it's not. It needs to be registered. You know, it needs, like, what does Summer say? When was the last? How many partners since your last test? There needs to be some regulated sex work, safe sex work, because they need the clarity to then do the work to self-improve. But as long as they're blocked up and blacking out, ooh, it's cold world, baby. Cold world. Legalizing sex work also makes it safe. Yeah, absolutely. You don't know who you're speaking to. Yeah, absolutely. Getting set up, them back page deals and Craigslist scams. Yeah, man. Absolutely. And what I'm thinking, actually, for this type of thing, it actually needs to be more than just sex work. It needs to be like sex therapy. So they need to be like sex and socialization, because a lot of these dudes just don't have social skills. So like sex and socialization, they should have to work on, like that dolphin thing I sent y'all a while back. You know, you get the clarity, because the dolphin, remember, the dolphin could not concentrate, because that dolphin was frisky. Couldn't concentrate on anything that they were trying to learn or teach in that little, whatever that thing was. Clear out the system. Then the dolphin was able to focus on the tasks at hand. Same thing with these dudes. Do that dolphin. What was that? I can't remember what that lady's name was. I sent it to somebody. I would pull that up, but yeah, my system, where my checking account is set up. But anyway, these dudes need help with the relief part. You know, the post-nut clarity. Get themselves clear, and then they need to get their thoughts clear. Because man, it's a two-part process. It can't just be one. Yeah. Big Daddy Government. Sex therapy could be independent of the therapist, though, to be honest. Like therapy that encourages sex work, it does actually provide it themselves. Hey, either way, I just know there needs to be a tandem. Doing one is a band-aid. So if it was just legalized sex work, that's just a band-aid. I mean, which is a good band-aid. I mean, because it still alleviates a problem. It alleviates a problem, but it doesn't solve the other side. So it alleviates the tension, but it doesn't solve the underlying condition. And that's the poor socialization. And it about to go down the rabbit hole again. Exactly. Yep. That's the other, yeah. That's why it's got to be a socialization component, because you have to learn to fish. It's not just giving them a fish. You got to teach them to fish. And that's a whole thing. I understand resources. People don't want to spend money on stuff like that. I get it, but we need radical solutions, because we're about to have a radical problem, y'all. We're about to have a radical problem. Like, I mean, it's about to be bad. Like, next 20 years, the way dudes are shaping up, woo, hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your kids, hide your wives, because they terrorizing everybody. It's gonna be bad, man. Because there's certain things, you know how they used to say, there's certain crimes you knew black people didn't commit, like school shooters. Black people don't do that kind of stuff. There's going to be some stuff that black people do. Like, cause we think I don't know what it is about black people. We just think we're not capable of certain things. Man, we're capable of some stuff, and it's about to get worse. And not just the crime, like them dudes in Chicago with that over emotional reaction to the flower. That kind of plays a part into their emotional reactions with guns and violence, but it's spreading. It's spreading, man. It's becoming a part of culture. You typed in dysfunction and the algorithm brought you here. Hey, man. I like it. This is where you come to heal.
It's been a long one, and I need someone, so I pull up and drink some. Oh, with my brush on, and the candles moving, and the combos moving, and it's time for you to join the crowd. Here we go again. Critically drinking, stay thirsty, my friends. Burning love and hoping never. If it does, well, we'll be back again. It's showtime. Come in and have a drink with our whole crew. Come on, bend on the panel or throw from the chat. Do it how you wanna do. The misfit birds keep the whole chat lit. And soon you'll be a part of it too. So come back again, my friend, or we'll come find you. Here we go again. Critically drinking, stay thirsty, my friend. Waiting love and hoping never. If it does, oh, we'll be back again. Now let's make one thing clear. Because of you is why we're here. You give us life, you give us love. That is why we hold you dear to our heart. Come and join the show.